Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Mogul Motivation. Welcome back. I'm happy that you are here. If this is your first time listening, this podcast is for the aspiring entrepreneur trying to get over that hump and make things happen. This podcast is for anybody with a dream that wants to go forward and accomplish that dream. This is episode 376. And on the previous episode, 375, we talked about excavation. I talked about how, sometimes on your entrepreneurial journey or in your life, when it feels like everything is being stripped away from you, when it feels like you're being pushed further and further to the bottom, it's for a reason. And the reason for that could be everything in you has to go. Everything, all the dirt, all the baggage, all of the unbelief, all of the frustration has to be emptied out of you so you can make room for that space that's been destined for you all of these years, all of this time. You cannot step into this new space with the dirt and the baggage from yesterday. Everything has to be cleaned out, cleansed out, and you have to be at the very bottom so you can spring back up again. So that's what we talked about on the previous episode, excavation. On this episode, I want to reference another previous episode of Mogul Motivation real quick. Hollow words. I can't remember what episode number it was, but whatever platform you're listening to this podcast on right now, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, doesn't matter. You can search it. Hollow words, Mogul Motivation. And on that episode, I talked about how, we always talk about how we have to speak things into existence, right? We have to speak positivity over our lives. But that really is only half the battle. Because in many cases, we are speaking hollow words. Yeah, we are saying things are going to work out. We are saying, yes, it's going to work out. We are saying I want to be successful. But those words are hollow because they have no meaning behind them. They have no conviction behind them. Because you have to understand, when you are surrounded by despair, when you are surrounded by disappointment, when you are used to everything going against you and going wrong, you tend to believe that this is the way life is going to be. You believe that your dysfunction is functional. You believe that because think about it. Your entire life, you've been stealing from Peter to pay Paul. Your entire life, you've seen your parents struggle. Your entire life, you've seen people in your neighborhood struggle. Your entire life, all you know is struggle. So therefore, you believe that struggle is normalcy. So when you say my life sucks, when you say nothing is going to work out, when you say you cannot be this, when you say you cannot be successful, you cannot be an entrepreneur, you cannot be a millionaire, you cannot be a doctor, you cannot be a lawyer, when you say these things, you believe it because you don't see it. You truly believe that you cannot do these things. You truly believe that nothing is going to work out because this is the normalcy surrounding you. So hollow words, yes, things are going to work out. You don't believe things are going to work out because you never seen things work out. We speak hollow words over our lives. Just because it's positive speaking, just because we are saying one thing doesn't mean that because we mean something else. The words are hollow, ladies and gentlemen. But there comes a point in your life where one or two things will occur. It comes a point in your life where a small blessing, something will go in your favor. And it's only up to you to capture this moment and be aware of when this moment happens. It's going to come a time where something where you believe it wasn't going to work out in your favor does work out in your favor. It could be something small. Or it's going to be a moment in your life where you see someone in your atmosphere, in your community, in your ecosystem. It could be a family member. It could be a friend. You're going to see something work out in their favor. Something big, something small. One of those instances is going to happen. Something in your life, whether it's big or small, is going to work out in your favor, or something in someone else's life that you're close to is going to work out in their favor. Once again, big or small. When one of these instances happen, it's going to be up to you to be aware. Because once that happens, you will start to see, number one, that faith works. Number two, that God hears your pain and sees what you're going through. You're going to see the tangible evidence of that fact. And it's at that point where you will have to register in your mind and in your spirit that things can work out, that you can be successful, you can be an entrepreneur, you can be a millionaire, you can be a doctor, a lawyer, an educator, you can be all of these things and more. Because you just saw that little sprinkle, that little sparkle in your life that shows you that favor does exist. So it's at that point where things start to change, and you have to be aware of that. And that's when the positive speaking, that's when those words that you speak over your life, things will work out, I will be successful. That's when it has a little bit more conviction. And when it has a little bit more conviction, those words aren't so hollow no more. Those words carry weight. And the more you speak it, the more you remember that hope from that moment that you realize the favor tilt in your favor, it's going to start to carry weight. And that's when the needle starts to change, ladies and gentlemen. You have to understand, once you are excavated, once everything in your spirit and in your soul is empty out, all that negativity, all that sludge, all that dirt, all the bad things that don't serve you, once that's empty out, the base is your belief. Your faith and your belief in God, your belief, that hope for a better tomorrow, that becomes your base once you start to believe it. See, it's one thing to say things are going to work out, but if you don't believe it, it's not going to work out. But when you say things are going to work out and you truly believe that, and you say it more and more every single day, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, that's when the needle starts to change, and that's when your world starts to turn around. And that's when the foundation is built, ladies and gentlemen. And once that foundation is built, you have solid ground. You have solid ground to stand on as you continue to build your business. You have solid ground to stand on as you continue to go after your goals. You have solid ground to stand on to do all these things with all these talents and gifts and skills that you have been blessed with. Your base is your belief. That's what it is. Nothing has changed in your life. I truly believe this because I've experienced this in my life. I'm being real. Nothing has changed in your life because you don't believe what you say. You have seen dysfunction so much and so long that you believe that dysfunction is true. So when you say your life sucks, you truly believe that. But when you really start to say your life is great because you see favor tilted in your direction, when you start to see those blessings coming down, you start to believe that your life truly is great. So when you say your life is great, it carries more weight. And that's what's the power in your words, the power of the tongue. And that's when things start to change and come around in your favor, ladies and gentlemen. First, we have to be excavated. All that dirt, all that sludge, all the bad things have to be emptied out of us, have to be cleansed out. And it's going to be a painful process. But then once you are excavated, your base becomes your belief, your faith, your hope for a better tomorrow. But it only works when you believe what you say. You cannot have hollow words. You cannot spit out hollow words over your life and over the things that you are touching and trying to do. You have to have conviction, and you have to have power behind those words. And that power only comes from witnessing the blessings and the favor in your life and around you. So that's my message this morning, ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon, rather. Your base is your belief. The belief is your base. That foundation is what you are going to build your new life upon after you have been excavated. After that painful season in your life, it is at that point when things start to change. So if this podcast has benefited you in any way, shape, or form, I ask for two things as always. Number one, leave a 5-star review. And number two, pass it on to a friend who may benefit from it as well. Let's continue to work. Let's continue to imagine reality. And let's keep building that base of belief and keep that faith and hold on to that hope for a better tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. I'll talk to you next week.